My name is Tyrone and I am the founder and president of Higher Impact. For years, I have worked with youth and young adults who are facing tremendous obstacles and are dealing with countless challenges. These individuals are confused about who they are, their value to society, and are living a life of hopelessness. When these individuals have no hope, they don't value their lives or the lives of others. This disconnect leads to violence. Acts of violence not only affect the victims and the perpetrators, but also their families and friends. Every day, youth and young adults in America are exposed to or experiencing some form of violence. Here's an inside look at why it happens and how Higher Impact and others are bringing about change.
I don't want you to get shot, okay? Stay very low and quiet. Stay low and quiet.
We hear about it on the news.
Do you know if anybody's injured?
Yes, we have automatic weapons, okay? Send lots and lots of paramedics.
But most of us have no idea how often it's happening.
Come on, help me!
Thousands of young people are suffering from violence every single day.
He pulled out a .357 Magnum, and then it was boom, boom, boom.
I didn't know the rules of the game. Basically, there's no rules. Got stabbed, just punctured my lung. All I remember is seeing bright lights.
They do this to normal kids, and I don't know why. And truck pulled in and just started shooting.
It was just like a normal day of school, and we heard these poppy noises coming from outside.
We heard a couple of explosions and a couple of popping sounds.
The shooters came into the library, and once they entered, I knew it wasn't a joke.
There's a hesitation in the crowd, and then all of a sudden the entire cafeteria just starts evacuating.
I helped pick up a girl who had been shot. A group of us ran out of an emergency exit.
Police and SWAT teams completely surrounded Columbine High School.
We could hear the guns going off right outside of our door. They end up running the school for 42 minutes. It's a long time to hear gunshots and explosions.
We do know we have to do more to recognize the early warning signs that are sent before children act violently.
Mass shootings is a small part of our homicide problem. Our issue about homicide is much larger.
To handle business these days means going to get a gun and shooting people. You know, if you're justified and you don't fight, then somehow you're less.
What people don't understand, these kids don't wake up and decide to be violent. There are circumstances that demand them to be violent.
Right, I only seen people get shot. I seen people get jumped, beat up. I seen people get thrown down flights of stairs. When you out here, I mean, it ain't no telling what you gonna see.
This area of Kansas City is known as the murder capital of the American Midwest.
It be pretty hectic at times. Last summer we was here, you know what I mean, while we sitting on the porch, they did a drive-by, you know what I mean, killed one of our neighbors right in front of us. So if somebody's shooting at you, you gonna wanna keep your life, so here you are doing the wrong thing, riding around with a gun, you know what I mean, if you get pulled over, you going to jail. But if you ain't got it, you know what I mean, you just, all you can do is run. Yeah, it's like a lose-lose situation.
Having a gun is not gonna save you, because a gun can't stop a bullet. The gun don't do much, just give you, it gives you confidence, it gives you strength for you to bust back.
Violence is a language, it's not a behavior, so it's telling you something, it's an indicator, it's a symptom. So kids, if they have given up hope and don't care whether they end up in prison or die, they gravitate toward a gang because that's the place of the lethal absence of hope.
Young boys, if they don't get hugged by their dads, they'll get hugged by their gang leaders. We don't have a crime problem, we don't have a prisoner problem or an inmate problem, a drug problem, we have a father problem. We don't have fathers that will take the time to spend time with their children and train their children and teach their kids and love their kids.
These kids are our responsibility. They just need to know that someone loves them and is going to be firm with them.
The only solution is to love people, not even to fix your kid. All you can do is just love your kid.
Our kids are high risk of dying and failing. We got to take a high risk to save them. I'm reminded of the consequences of violence that these youth and young adults experience every day. But also, I know that their obstacles can be turned into opportunities, thus creating the foundation for their future success. In the urban core of Kansas City, Missouri, Higher Impact has witnessed these individuals choose not to allow their past to define their future. I want this message of hope to go further, and I know together we can do it. I want students, youth, young adults, parents, caretakers, teachers, service providers, volunteers, mentors, community leaders, pastors, businessmen and women to watch this documentary and realize there are some simple steps that we all can take to reduce violence. To learn how you can partner with us to make our country safe, please go to higherimpact.org.